Find the absolute change and the percent change in the following case. The number of daily newspaper in a country was 1,909 in 1900 and 1,264 in 2010. Okay, we want to find the absolute change. If I were you, these numbers can be confusing. So what I would do is I would decide to circle the actual numbers, the numbers that I need. Okay, so this is what you need, and that is what you need. Now, the years that are associated with these numbers is supposed to give you an indication of what's the new year and what's the old, right? So you notice that 2010, this is the value that goes with it, and that is the new. And that is what this is your old. Now, why are we doing these identifications? Because we know that to find the absolute change, okay, is the new minus the old. So the new value minus the old value. So what is our new value? So the new value is 1,264 minus 1,909. Okay, so you notice that 1264 minus 1909, and that gives you negative 645. So if you're asked to interpret if you're asked to interpret this value, you will say that the daily newspaper in the country has reduced, right, by 645 between 1900 and 2010. And that's the absolute change, okay? Good. Now to find the relative change, let me do RC for relative change. Is the new minus the old value divided by the old value, all right? And this is a percentage change, okay? So when you're done, you multiply by 100. Is that okay? So the new minus the old over the old. Is that okay? Now, you already found the new minus the old, which was what? Negative 645. Now, the old value was what? 1909. Okay, so do this. So 645 divided by, so negative 645 divided by 1909. Okay, and that should give you 0.3378. Now multiply that by 100. All right, and when you multiply that by 100, that should give you negative 33.787, and so on and so forth. But you have to pay attention to what is here, and I feel this is where a lot of students get it wrong. Round the final answer to the nearest integer as needed. Now, what is an integer? And integers are both negative and positive whole numbers. I'm sure your question is, what is a whole number? Whole numbers are numbers that start from what? 0. So 0 up to infinity are whole numbers. So you want to round it to the nearest whole number. And the nearest whole number will be what? So nearest integer. So that will be what? Negative 34. So negative 34 should be your answer. The final part, this instruction is telling you that you should not round in between. If you want to round in between, round to the nearest 100. Is that okay? You round to the nearest hundreds when you are rounding in between. All right, so that you do not have truncation errors. Okay, so that is as simple as that. And we know that relative change is a percentage change. Is that okay? So you say that the daily newspaper in a country has decreased by 34% between 1900 and 2010. And that is the interpretation for the relative change value. Sounds good? All right, thank you. Have a good day.